What if the past is hiding inventions that changed the world and then vanished? We move through our modern lives surrounded by marvels of engineering and science, believing we stand at the pinnacle of human achievement. We trust that our history is a linear path, a steady climb from primitive tools to the digital age. But this is a comforting story we tell ourselves. The truth, buried in the dust of empires and the forgotten notes of brilliant minds, is far more complex and perhaps more disturbing. Inventions that could have reshaped civilizations, offering power, knowledge, destruction on a scale we thought was uniquely our own. But these breakthroughs did not lead to a new era. Instead, they were lost. Some were casualties of war, secrecy, victims of greed, fear. Their creators were silenced, their blueprints burned, their genius erased from the narrative of progress we so confidently accept. Tonight, we step off the well-trodden path of history and into the shadows. Tonight, we uncover 5 technologies erased from history, facts, mysteries, theories that refuse to die. The journey we are about to take will challenge what you think you know about the past and about the very nature of human ingenuity. Beat. Prepare for chapter transition beds. In the heart of the Gilded Age, one man dreamed of a world without wires. His name was Nikola Tesla, a visionary whose mind crackled with the same energy he sought to harness. He saw a future where power was not a commodity to be bought and sold, but a force of nature, as free as the air we breathe. He imagined a global network, transmitting electricity, transmitting information to any point on the planet, without a single cable. This wasn't just a dream. He had a plan. His grand vision began to take shape in Wardenclyffe, Long Island. A colossal tower, nearly 200 feet tall, rose from the earth, its mushroom-like cap aimed at the heavens. This was to be the first broadcast station for a new world. Tesla poured everything he had into it, his intellect, his reputation, and the fortunes of his powerful investors, like J.P. Morgan. He promised them a revolution in communication, a way to send messages across oceans in an instant. But Tesla's ambitions went far beyond simple messaging. He spoke of transmitting images, of controlling machines from a distance, and most radical of all, of broadcasting electrical power itself. Imagine a world where ships at sea and homes in remote villages could draw energy directly from the atmosphere. It was a concept so profound, it threatened to upend the entire economic structure of the burgeoning industrial world. Power that couldn't be metered was power that couldn't be sold. For over 700 years, the Byzantine Empire held a weapon that made them the masters of the sea. It was a substance of pure terror, a liquid flame that could not be extinguished with water. In fact, water only seemed to make it burn more fiercely. Sea fire, liquid fire, prepared fire. History knows it by a more famous name, Greek fire. Imagine the scene. You're a sailor on an enemy vessel, approaching the magnificent walls of Constantinople. Byzantine ships, known as dromons, surge forward. Mounted on their prows are bronze tubes, shaped like the heads of savage beasts. Without warning, a stream of roaring flame erupts from the beast's mouth, soaring across the water and clinging to the hull and sails. Panic ensues. Men are engulfed in a fire that sticks to their skin like burning tar. The psychological impact was as devastating as the physical destruction. Enemies of the Byzantines described it with dread, believing it to be a demonic invention. It gave the smaller Byzantine navy a decisive edge against much larger invading fleets. It saved Constantinople from conquest on multiple occasions, preserving the Eastern Roman Empire for centuries. In 1936, during an archaeological dig near Baghdad, a strange object was unearthed. It was a simple clay jar, no more than 6 inches tall. Inside, a cylinder made of sheet copper, an iron rod suspended in the center, held in place by an asphalt plug. At first, dismissed as a vessel for storing sacred scrolls, but its unique construction hinted at something extraordinary. This artifact, now known as the Baghdad Battery, dates back to the Parthian period, about 2,000 years ago. Researchers filled a replica of the jar. They used a simple electrolyte, vinegar, grape juice. It produced a small but measurable electric current. about half a volt on a voltmeter, a primitive galvanic cell, 2 millennia before Alessandro Volta. The discovery sent ripples through archaeology and science. Could ancient civilizations have understood electricity? The mainstream view: isolated oddities, accidental electrical properties. Maybe they stored something acidic. Maybe the metal parts were just container structure. Plausible, but it doesn't explain everything. For instance, what was their purpose? A single battery makes a very weak charge, not enough to power a light bulb. But linked in series, multiple jars would increase voltage. Some theorize they were used for electroplating, to apply thin layers of gold, silver. Some period artifacts show remarkably uniform gilding, uniformity hard to achieve with simple mercury gilding. Another theory: religious or healing rituals. Imagine a priest holding a sacred metal icon, secretly wired to batteries hidden inside a statue. A worshipper touches the icon and feels a mild tingling, a divine buzz, a powerful tool to inspire awe and faith. The monuments of Rome are a testament to an empire's ambition. The Colosseum, the Pantheon, the aqueducts, earthquakes, floods, the relentless march of 2,000 years. But their longevity is not just due to the skill of their builders. It is owed to the material they were made from, a miraculous substance known as Roman concrete or opus cementitium. Look at our modern world. Our piers, seawalls, and buildings begin to degrade in a matter of decades. Steel reinforcements rust and expand, cracking the concrete from within. Seawater in particular is a relentless enemy, eating away at the foundations of our coastal infrastructure. Roman harbors, piers, and breakwaters, submerged in the corrosive Mediterranean for millennia, remain astonishingly intact. Some are even stronger today than the day they were poured. What was their secret? For centuries, the recipe was lost. We knew the basic ingredients were similar to our own: a binder, like lime, an aggregate, like rock and sand. But there was a key difference, a missing ingredient that gave Roman concrete its near mythical durability. It was a special kind of volcanic ash, known as pozzolana, which the Romans sourced from deposits near Naples. Modern science has only recently unlocked the chemistry behind this ancient marvel. When the Romans mixed their lime, volcanic ash, and seawater, a remarkable chemical reaction occurred. The materials formed what are known as aluminous tobermarite crystals. These rare interlocking crystals made the concrete incredibly strong and stable. Even more incredibly, as seawater percolated through tiny cracks in the concrete over centuries, it triggered new crystal growth, effectively healing the cracks and making the material even more robust over time. This was a self-healing concrete, a material that grew stronger with age, thriving in the very environment that destroys our modern equivalent. The Romans didn't have electron microscopes or advanced chemical analysis. They learned through observation, through trial and error, and through a deep, intuitive understanding of the materials their land provided. They perfected a formula that we are only now beginning to comprehend. So why was this incredible knowledge lost? Roman harbors stand resilient for millennia, while modern concrete crumbles. A lost formula hints at knowledge we couldn't replicate. Was it lost by time or hidden? The fall of the Western Roman Empire was not a single event, but a slow, chaotic decline. With it came the collapse of trade routes, the loss of centralized knowledge, and the disintegration of the complex engineering core that had perfected these techniques. The specific knowledge of which volcanic ash to use, the precise ratios, the exact curing methods, this was practical, hands-on information, likely passed from master to apprentice. As the empire frayed, that chain of knowledge was broken. The recipe wasn't hidden. It simply faded away in an age of turmoil and survival, a casualty of a world that no longer had the stability or the ambition to build for eternity. We are now trying to reverse engineer their secret, to relearn what our ancestors once knew, hoping to build a future as enduring as their past. In the year 1900, a group of Greek sponge divers took shelter from a storm near the island of Antikythera. When the storm passed, they dived and found the wreck of an ancient Roman cargo ship. Among the scattered marble statues and pottery, they recovered a lump of corroded bronze. It was dismissed as a curious piece of scrap, but inside that calcified lump lay one of the most astonishing discoveries in the history of technology. After decades of painstaking study and advanced X-ray imaging, scientists revealed what was hidden inside: a complex system of more than 30 interlocking bronze gears. This was the Antikythera mechanism, a device of breathtaking complexity. It was an astronomical calculator, an analog computer from the 2nd century BCE, capable of predicting the positions of the sun, the moon, the planets, tracking the lunar calendar, and even predicting eclipses. Nothing else like it exists from the ancient world. Its sophistication is on a level that would not be seen again for over 1,000 years, until the astronomical clocks of medieval Europe. It forces us to ask a deeply unsettling question: where did it come from? Such a complex machine could not have been a one-of-a-kind invention. It must have been the product of a long tradition of mechanical engineering, a tradition for which we have almost no other evidence. This is where the mystery deepens. The Roman orator Cicero, writing in the 1st century BCE, describes two similar machines. He mentions a device built by Archimedes that modeled the celestial motions, and another built by the philosopher Posidonius. These accounts were long thought to be fanciful exaggeration, but the discovery of the Antikythera mechanism proved they were real. It suggests that such devices, while rare, were known in the ancient world. So where are the others? The ship that sank off Antikythera was a cargo vessel, likely carrying looted treasures back to Rome. The mechanism was just part of its cargo. It seems improbable that the only one of these advanced devices ever made happened to be on the one ship that sank and was later discovered. It's more likely that others existed, perhaps many others. Their absence is a deafening silence in the archaeological record. We have journeyed through whispers and shadows, from the unrealized dream of wireless power to the forgotten genius of ancient engineers. Montage, quick cuts, Greek fire, Roman concrete, the Baghdad battery, and the Antikythera mechanism are more than just historical curiosities. They are echoes of alternate timelines, paths not taken, and knowledge that slipped through our fingers. Each one represents a piece of a puzzle we may never complete, a testament to the fragility of progress. These lost technologies challenge our perception of a simple, upward climb of human history. They suggest that knowledge can be cyclical, that civilizations can not only rise and fall, but can also forget. The reasons are as varied as the inventions themselves: secrecy, war, economic suppression, or perhaps simple tragic accidents. They remind us that what is known today can be lost tomorrow, and that the past might just be a graveyard of futures that could have been. These inventions linger as fragments and rumors, each question more unsettling than the last. The past may hold answers we weren't meant to find.